Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing alright. So let's get into the Zega managed ETFs for August 2004. And there's quite a few of them, so let's see which ones are going to be good, which ones are going to be not so good. So I'm going to rank these by like the rank, like by price, like the average yield, the standard deviation, liquidity, the correlation, and any potential drawdowns. So one oddball for this month is there's a YieldMax BABO on the YQQQ. So since it's new, I'll give them a pass on this one. But if you notice, like in the fund data and pricing, like the net assets is like $20, and then there's only like one share outstanding, and obviously that's not true. So what I had to do, I had to use like their CSV file and kind of back into like some of the numbers. As you'll notice, like they said, it's updated as of August 16th, which was like the past Friday. So just keep that in mind. Always just double check like their figures, just in case like there's other stuff that it didn't catch. So not much has changed for this month. Like a few things kind of like moved around, but this just as a quick snapshot. This is ranked based off of just the average yield. One thing to note is that unfortunately Trez went away, and then also like DIPS, BABO, and YQQQ, the two new to be included for this month, but in next month we should see some interesting things. And right off the bat, like you'll notice something funny, like the FIAT and CONY are both up here, so both like the inverse and like the regular ETF based off of Coinbase is up here. So I'll give it a second. So maybe if you guys want to just like jot this down, or you want to wait until to see the spreadsheet. And then also for the YieldMax one, like I kind of rework like the little map over here, just kind of like as a visual, kind of see like which one is like the biggest one. So it's no surprise, NVIDIA is like the top dog, and TSLY is not that far behind. And then same thing for Defiance. You can kind of see like QQQY is still kind of like the big dog. And I expect like SPYT and QQQT to kind of like grow over time. I think those might be good options for some folks. So without further ado, let's go into the spreadsheet. Okay, so unfortunately, the discounts are mostly gone. So I mean, but there's still some decent ones like here and there. Like I guess like for GOOY, like for example, that was get like 7 cents per share, if you're into Google. So I think like people kind of exaggerated. Like that wasn't really much of a crash. I mean, it was barely like a correction. So I believe like from like the latest highs to like the recent so-called bottom, it was only like 8% down move in total, and then normal correction is about 10% or so. So I guess it's good enough. There were some discounts here and there, but you had to be fast. It only lasted like a few days in terms of like really juicy premiums as well, if you were doing cash secured puts. And then over on the Defiance side, again, well, it's not that big of a discount. It's mostly like JPMO and QQQY. You can save like 4 cents. And then you can kind of see, like, again, as I mentioned, like SPYT is kind of growing, like their share of the pie. And then what's a little concerning is that I guess like people were scared off, which could be good or bad depending on if you're looking for discounts or not. So NVIDIA is like the top dog right now in terms of assets under management. TSLY is not that far behind. Same thing with CONY and MSTY. And then YMAX, running like the top 5, and then ULTY is still hanging in there. And then YMAG is not that far behind. So let's get into like the dividends. Or actually, I should say distributions. So let me start from like around here or so. Let me make sure that's in focus. So just in case you're new, I try to do like the average distributions for like the the lifetime, and then also like the standard deviation, and then I created like a consistency ratio just to kind of compare everything on like a like-minded basis. So for example, TSLY is the average distribution over the life of the ETF, 74 cents. It swings, like the standard deviation kind of measures how much it swings per month. So like, month to month, you can expect like a 19-cent movement up or down. And then the consistency ratio is just like the average distribution divided by the standard deviation. So that kind of, this way you can kind of sort of rank them from top to bottom. So let's go over to, so maybe I should, so let's see, like on the screen, you could probably say like from TSLY to PP. And then some things to note is that on average, like Coinbase has a pretty good, like a highlighted in green, like the top 3. And then like and then also on the, like for the consistency ratio, like NVD, like once a month, it can kind of swing a lot. So it's like a 1.61. But that's normal, I guess, like for, the top performer. I guess it's not that unusual to kind of swing around a lot. So let me move this over. Hopefully everybody jotted down what they wanted to jot down. Because I guess as time goes on, like this list will get bigger, a little bit more unwieldy. So I'm gonna scroll over to SQY. So that would be like from SQY to, I can't quite fit YMAG in this. So like, for like those who are interested in SPYT and YMAX, you can kind of jot those down. You can see like MSTY is the highest average distribution so far. Well, fiat, well, it's new this month, so like it's $1.89 per share. And then you notice like YMAX still has a pretty good consistency ratio along, and then Crash has only been out for like 3 months or so. So like, I expect that to kind of trend down as, because TSLY is kind of like a crazy one. And then the consistency ratio for SQUI and MRNY, over, definitely over the life, like you can kind of see like the distributions, like it's all over the place. So it's kind of like ranked near the bottom. And then I kind of made room for like ABNY, FIAT, DIPS, BABO, and YQQQ. So let's move on to like the next batch of guys. So like this way we can see YMAG in total. Oh, oops, sorry, let me just scroll over a little bit more. And then, as I mentioned before, like unfortunately Trez was delisted, so hopefully people were able to get out in time. So again, on average, well, I mean, Trez, there's no need to talk about it anymore since it's not here anymore. And then Theta, on average is, pretty low, but on a consistency level, it's not that bad. And then over here you can see like SPYT has the highest consistency ratio so far, but it makes sense because and I expect QQT to kind of like follow as well. So like, if they're trying to target like 20% a year, so far they've been, doing like 30+ cents per month. So I expect QQT to kind of do the same thing. So hopefully everybody was able to see all that good stuff. So let's go into the rank. So I wanted to try to create like a way to kind of see like how far like a particular ETF has been coming off of its 52-week high. So, well, BABO is new, so like, as you can see, like it's still close to 52-week high, so that's why the ranking is higher for this. So this is good for people that are concerned about like price erosion, return on capital, etc. So SPYT and QQT, as you can imagine, is quite high on the list. Hasn't deviated too much from like its original $20 mark. So I would try to, like, whenever possible, try to buy as low as possible for these two particular products, because I guess like people that overpaid, like they paid like 2077, 2071, they're probably not feeling too happy, but that's just the way life is. So let me just scroll down a little bit more. So right now you can see up to SNOY. So let me just move down a little bit slowly so that you can kind of see, for those that are interested, from AMZY to ULTY. And then let me just scroll down some more so you can kind of see the rest of it, like from AIYY to YQQQ. So over time I expect like the new guys like YQQQ and dips to kind of like move around. I don't expect it to stay like, for example, dips like since NVIDIA is doing well, so obviously like dips will kind of move to the bottom, so this will move around. And then let's move on to the next one. So this is a drawdown. So this measures like how far it could fall from the 52-week high to the 52-week low. Now, I'm not saying this will happen. I'm just saying there's a possibility. So, for example, for MRNY, let's say like you just happen to buy like all the way at the top, like $26, and now you're not feeling too good. So this measures like the potential drawdown. Same thing for AIYY. Let's say you bought all the way up at like 2169, and now around 52-week low with $9. Again, these are pretty bad drawdowns. So like if you're afraid of like of potential losses, maybe you can kind of like find other products to, or maybe even just trade like the underlying if you're afraid that like the ETF won't be up to snuff. So let me scroll down some more from I go look around JPMO, and then you can kind of see like all these other guys. So for example, if you're maybe want to stay like kind of like in the middle of the road, like YMAX could be something for you, since like, well, it's kind of like an average of everything. So 28% like drawdown. I mean, it hurts, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. So if you don't want to take on more like price risk, maybe that could be something you can consider. And surprisingly, YMAG actually performed better in that regard. Maybe I think just because like right now, like in YMAG, you only have like 7 stocks, so there's like less things to worry about. So that's pretty interesting. And then like kind of like near like over here, like you can see like the ones that don't have like those crazy swings. So maybe the stuff near the bottom could be something you can consider. Of course, like YQQQ and BABO are relatively new, so maybe give it some time before you pile in. Well, I mean that should go without saying for just like anything. So the next thing, going by volume. So this is probably a better measure for those with larger accounts. So you want to make sure like whenever you buy something, you want to make sure that there's enough people that you can sell to later on down the road. If you want to take some profits, or maybe you're scared of something happening, this could be something that might be a better measure for some people. So like for this month, MSTY and NVIDIA and TSLY, those are not too surprising. OT is a little surprising. I'm surprised like people still like this, despite like the performance hasn't been up to expectations. But to each their own. And then CONY and YMAX, still decent amount of like other traders that you can like trade back and forth with if you choose to do so. And then everything after that, like it's kind of iffy. Surprisingly, YMAG doesn't pick up as much volume as like its big brothers like OT and YMAX, but again, to each their own. So let's just scroll down a little bit more. Surprised like SPYT doesn't get that much volume, but anyway. So we just scroll down a little bit more. So QQQT is still relatively new, so but still like that kind of bothers me a little bit. But anyway, so for dips, YQQQ, ABNY, those are relatively new, so it's not that surprising. So maybe as time goes on, those will pick up. And Disney is like pretty bad. Again, I'm surprised that especially with back-to-back better, well, I guess like better movies in terms of like box office performance. I thought there would be more interest there, but I guess not. So anyway, so then the next measure for correlation is the correlation. So like let's say you're building a portfolio of Defiance, YieldMax, and other high yield ETFs. This gives you a way to kind of see if it makes sense to, in terms of if you want to diversify some more. So for example, dips, the opposite of NVIDIA, you expect that to have like a strong since it's a short ETF, so it should have a strong negative correlation, which is good to help balance out your portfolio. Same thing with CRSH, like the opposite of Tesla, and then Fiat, the opposite of coin. So those would be good diversifiers. So the Airbnb one, like the ABNY, surprised it has a pretty decent negative correlation as well. Same thing with Disney, and then same thing with MSTY. I wasn't expecting that to have like a negative correlation, but I guess it is what it is. Especially it's just like for 1 month, so this obviously changes over time. So let me see if I can scroll down a little bit more, so you can kind of jot down if there's anything interesting that you want to see. So for example, well, over here, like it's not perfect, so because I'm using this from the Thinkorswim data. So every month, like the QQQY, like this one, QQQY to QQQY should be a perfect one. But for some reason, like it's 0.98. But again, it's just like a weird quirk of the system. And then I guess like for SPYT and QQQT, like that makes sense. Like that has a high correlation to QQQY. BABO and YQQQ are too new to include. So hopefully people found this useful. So let's bring it back to the PowerPoint. So again, this is just a Panda opinion. I try to include as much different ways to kind of look at the data, so you can kind of make your own decision depending on your tolerance. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to make everybody happy. There's always going to be like some downvote or some nasty comment or whatever. But again, there's no way for me to know like what your exact goals and preferences are. And then if you have a suggestion as to like if there's another way to look at the data, just let me know. If you like this type of content, please consider giving a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.